Welcome to the Bovine Podcast, your go-to source for inside stories, cutting-edge research, and the latest updates in the world of dairy farming. In the 57th episode, we discover how Ukraine's dairy sector faces challenges and finds opportunities amid conflict. So please grab a glass of milk, sit back, and let's get started with this week's episode.
Despite the ongoing conflict, Ukraine's dairy sector has shown remarkable resilience, navigating unprecedented challenges and underscoring its vital role in its economic fabric. The industry's ability to adapt and survive in the face of Russian aggression, relentless infrastructure attacks, and electricity shortages is a testament to its strength. This resilience offers hope for the future of Ukraine's dairy industry.
The current landscape of Ukraine's dairy sector characterizes a stark divide between household plots and industrial farms. Household plots, which account for about 60% of Ukraine's total milk production, continue to grapple with inefficiencies primarily due to basic sanitary and veterinary practices. Despite their substantial contribution to overall production, these plots offer minimal input to industrial processing, approximately 8 to 9% of fluid milk. In contrast, industrial farms are on an upward trajectory. Recent data indicates a modest increase in fluid milk production from these farms, despite a decreased overall cow inventory. This growth is fueled by improved productivity and operational scales, responding to the challenges posed by reduced domestic demand and logistical constraints stemming from ongoing geopolitical tensions. Statistics tell a compelling story. As of 2023, the number of cows in milk stood at roughly 1,400,000. This number is projected to fall to 1,150,000 by 2025, reflecting the broader structural adjustments within the industry. Milk production peaked at 7,452,000 metric tons in 2023, an anomaly attributed to statistical adjustments, before declining slightly as industrial farm efficiency gains struggled to offset losses from household plots fully. These trends highlight the inefficiencies of the household dairy sector and the resilience and growth potential of industrial farms. The transition towards increased industrialization seems pivotal for the sector's future, especially amid challenges such as electricity outages and labor mobilization that further strain production capacities.
The Russian invasion, which began in February 2022, has cast a long shadow over Ukraine's dairy sector, drastically altering its landscape. The war's direct implications are seen in the extensive damage inflicted on infrastructure. Dairies that once thrived on well-established supply and distribution networks now grapple with disruptions. Roads crucial for transporting milk to processing plants have been compromised, and production facilities in eastern regions face existential threats. One of the most acute challenges has been the frequent electricity outages, which have disrupted the regularity of production cycles. Dairy farms, heavily reliant on electricity for milking and milk chilling operations, have been forced to resort to power generators. These have increased operational costs and put smaller operations under immense financial strain, as they cannot absorb the shock of surging energy expenses. The conflict's direct consequence has been workforce mobilization, which has led to labor shortages that further exacerbate production woes. Many workers have been conscripted into the military or displaced due to the conflict, significantly reducing the available labor force for dairy farming. Due to increased wage demands, farms struggle to maintain operations, often operating below capacity or at higher operational costs. Many dairy operations have migrated to central and western Ukraine in response to these adversities. These regions offer relative safety, but this relocation comes with a price. Farms must establish new operational bases and rebuild customer connections and supply chains while facing elevated logistics and setup costs. Additionally, this geographic shift has inadvertently increased competition amongst farms in these safer zones, increasing production costs and squeezing profit margins. These challenges have prompted an industry-wide recalibration, with efficiency taking precedence over expansion. The focus has shifted towards maximizing output per cow, investing in higher-yielding dairy technologies, and embracing sustainable practices. Despite the seemingly insurmountable challenges, the Ukrainian dairy industry is demonstrating unique resilience and seeking pathways to sustain its vital contribution to national food security. This growth potential should inspire and motivate stakeholders in the industry.
The Ukrainian dairy market is at an intriguing crossroads, shaped by evolving consumer preferences and challenging economic realities. Notably, a discernible shift is occurring from complex to soft cheese. This transition is not just a fleeting trend, but a reflection of changing consumer palates that now lean towards the versatility and cost-effectiveness of fresh, soft cheeses. These cheeses are increasingly favored in modern recipes, incorporating them into a broader range of cuisines beyond traditional Ukrainian dishes. The rise of plant-based milk substitutes is also influencing the market for dairy products. A growing segment of the population, about 5% of consumers, now regularly purchases these alternatives, with an additional 16% trying them at least monthly. This shift is driven by health trends, lifestyle choices, and their affordability in the face of economic instability. Economic factors loom large over Ukraine's dairy consumption patterns. The decline in disposable income, compounded by ongoing population outflows due to conflict, exerts significant pressure on the market. Fluid milk sales, while traditionally stable, are not immune to these pressures and have seen only slight declines amid these challenging circumstances. The government's potential tax increases further weigh on the horizon, threatening to constrain household budgets even more tightly. Moreover, demographic shifts resulting from population outflows, primarily affecting women and children, critical consumers of dairy products, are further influencing market dynamics. This demographic change affects consumption levels and alters the types of dairy products in demand, influencing individuals to seek budget-friendly and accessible alternatives.
Ukraine's dairy export market faces significant hurdles, primarily driven by a shrinking raw milk supply. This shortage limits the volume available for international trade, thereby constraining growth opportunities. The scarcity of raw milk directly impacts the production capacities for export-oriented goods like cheese, butter, and non-fat dry milk, NFDM, keeping exports tepid. Despite these adversities, there are pathways to potential growth. The European Union (EU) represents a beacon of opportunity for future expansion. Ukrainian processors eye the EU market not only due to geographic proximity, but also because of existing infrastructural pathways that can facilitate easier access. However, to tap into this potential, Ukrainian dairy products must meet stringent EU standards, requiring product quality and compliance investments. The role of international traders has been pivotal, bridging gaps between local producers and global markets. These traders often blend Ukrainian products with those from other regions, enhancing standards and sometimes re-exporting products under different labels. The competitive landscape is evolving, driven by both internal and external pressures. Domestically, Ukrainian producers must diversify beyond traditional product lines to cater to changing consumer preferences locally and abroad. The ascendancy of plant-based dairy alternatives represents a significant shift in consumer behavior that could redirect market demands. To maintain a competitive edge, Ukrainian dairy must innovate, developing niche products that cater to emerging market segments and respond to global dietary trends. In summary, while raw milk shortages present considerable challenges, strategic alignment with EU standards, leveraging international trade networks, and embracing product diversification could unlock new avenues for Ukraine's dairy sector. This would mark the blueprint for sustainable export growth in a challenging global landscape.
The future of Ukraine's dairy industry stands at a crossroads, shaped by complex societal, economic, and geopolitical challenges. Looking ahead, stakeholders must recognize these hurdles as opportunities for strategic evolution. Although the immediate landscape may seem bleak, long-term prospects can be significantly enhanced through concerted efforts and innovative strategies. Given the persistent threat of infrastructural disruptions, particularly power outages, investing in renewable energy solutions like solar installations and more efficient energy storage systems could safeguard production continuity. We are strengthening infrastructure buffers against external shocks and positioning the industry towards sustainable growth. Efficiency improvements are paramount, especially on household farms. Encouraging these farms to adopt better sanitary and veterinary practices could enhance their productivity and product quality, thus integrating them more effectively into broader supply chains. Government incentives, perhaps in subsidies or technical support, could accelerate this transition, fostering a more resilient agricultural base. Diversifying target markets outside traditional FSU countries is essential for exporting. Ukraine has untapped potential by tapping into emerging markets in Asia and Africa, where dairy demand is burgeoning. Establishing trade relations with EU ports as logistical hubs can facilitate smoother export operations and lower transportation costs. Moreover, the industry might benefit from aligning more closely with global dairy trends, such as the growing popularity of plant-based alternatives. By locally leading innovations in this sector, Ukrainian producers could capture new consumer bases concerned with health and environmental impacts, thus securing an influential market position. Ultimately, each strategic move should be assessed for its long-term viability, ensuring that temporary gains stay within sustainable growth prospects. By embedding flexibility and foresight into their strategies, Ukraine's dairy sector can overcome current adversities and lay the groundwork for a robust, future-ready industry.
Ukraine's dairy industry, a cornerstone of its agricultural economy, has undergone significant transformations over the decades. This evolution closely mirrors the country's turbulent geopolitical landscape, introducing challenges and opportunities with each shift. During the Soviet era, Ukraine was a critical milk supplier within the USSR, benefiting from centralized agricultural policies supporting large-scale dairy production. However, the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked the onset of a challenging transition to a market-based economy. Removing subsidies and decentralizing farms led to immediate declines in production, as many smaller farms struggled to compete in the new economic climate. The dawn of the 21st century saw a gradual recovery driven by domestic reforms and foreign investments. This period was marked by the modernization of dairy facilities and a partial shift towards industrial farming, which began to improve overall productivity. Nevertheless, despite being less efficient, household plots continued to dominate the sector, reflecting the country's mixed agricultural practices. Geopolitical tensions, particularly the annexation of Crimea in 2014 and the ongoing conflict with Russia, have further shaped the industry. These events disrupted traditional export routes and markets, forcing Ukrainian producers to seek new partnerships and alliances, notably within the European Union. This necessity paved the way for compliance with EU standards, positioning some Ukrainian dairies to explore high-value markets. As Ukraine navigates its socio-political challenges, the dairy industry stands at a crossroads. The evolution of industrial farms amidst ongoing conflict suggests a potential path toward increased efficiency and expanded exports. Yet, with persistent threats such as power outages and workforce mobilization, the sector must remain adaptable. Fusing traditional practices with modern strategies offers a promising outlook, provided the industry can withstand the geopolitical tremors that still linger.
International aid and support have proven critical lifelines for Ukraine's dairy industry, especially during hostilities. Several organizations and countries have rallied to bolster this sector, recognizing its importance in sustaining the national economy and ensuring food security. One notable example is the European Union's commitment to providing financial aid and technical assistance to Ukrainian agricultural producers. This support includes helping dairy farmers access modern equipment and technology, enhancing productivity and efficiency amidst adversity. Additionally, the EU has facilitated export routes via their ports, mitigating some supply chain disruptions caused by regional instabilities. The United States Agency for International Development, USAID, has also played a pivotal role. It has launched programs to improve the resilience of Ukraine's agricultural sector, including grants focused on dairy infrastructure and logistics improvements. These initiatives are designed to support local economies by protecting jobs linked to the dairy industry and paving the way for long-term growth and stability. Moreover, global organizations like the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, have been active in providing emergency assistance and resilience-building strategies. Their focus includes distributing essential supplies and offering expertise to optimize production practices, which can help offset the challenges presented by ongoing infrastructure damage. These combined efforts highlight the international community's acknowledgement of Ukraine's agricultural potential and strategic importance in the region. The support has been a source of immediate relief and a foundation for building a more sustainable and competitive dairy sector in the future.
The ongoing conflict has critically unraveled the intricate weave of Ukraine's dairy industry, altering its fabric in profound and potentially enduring ways. In the long term, the war's immediate effects, such as the decimation of infrastructure, the loss of workforce due to mobilization, and the disruption of supply chains, could lead to prolonged stagnation if not carefully managed. The reduction in dairy cow inventory and dwindling fluid milk production affects current market dynamics and sets back the industry's ability to compete globally. However, scenarios for recovery and growth remain plausible once hostilities cease. A pivotal factor is refugees and displaced persons' potential return and reintegration, which significantly bolsters human capital and domestic consumption. Modernizing infrastructure, particularly in resilient central and western Ukraine regions, could position the industrial sector better to absorb technological advancements, thereby enhancing productivity and efficiency. A strategic development plan that includes robust infrastructure investment and incentives for technological integration will be paramount for sustainable future growth. Collaboration with international partners for rebuilding efforts offers a lifeline, opening pathways to access advanced agricultural technologies. Establishing cooperative frameworks and knowledge exchange programs with EU dairy sectors could encourage Ukraine to rejuvenate its dairy industry to meet international standards. Government policy must support this transformation through subsidies and grants to revitalize household and industrial dairy farms. Additionally, fostering export partnerships will be crucial for market expansion, leveraging Ukraine's geographical advantages and existing trade agreements. By focusing on sustainability, innovation, and international collaboration, Ukraine's dairy industry can transform adversity into an opportunity for profound regeneration.
In a global context, the challenges faced by Ukraine's dairy sector are not unique. Countries like Syria and Yemen, grappling with geopolitical instability, showcase similar patterns of disruption in agricultural industries. In Syria, the ongoing conflict has destroyed infrastructure, including that critical for dairy processing, resulting in a significant decrease in dairy productivity and quality. FAO report on Syria dairy. This has forced a reliance on imports, causing a sharp increase in dairy prices, which impacts food security. In Yemen, consistent conflict has severely disrupted the supply chains necessary for dairy production, leading to a reliance on local, less efficient production methods. World Bank on Yemen agriculture. Both contexts offer critical lessons on resilience and adaptation. Addressing infrastructure challenges through international aid and rebuilding efforts can enhance recovery and sustainability in conflict-affected regions. Additionally, these situations emphasize the importance of diversifying milk production to ensure resilience against unforeseen disruptions. Efforts to support smallholder farmers and integrate them with industrial supply chains can bolster global food security and industry stability.
Ukraine's dairy industry showcases remarkable resilience and perseverance in adversity. Industrial farms continue to find ways to increase productivity despite the ongoing challenges, while consumer preferences for soft cheese and plant-based alternatives are gradually shifting. Although the sector faces significant obstacles, including raw milk supply shortages and the looming threat of Russian aggression, opportunities for growth and expansion still exist, mainly through exports to the EU. As these producers navigate the complex tapestry of economic and social upheavals, the grit of the Ukrainian dairy industry remains a beacon of hope and potential. However, this is not a time for complacency. It's crucial to ponder: how can the global community strengthen Ukraine's agricultural backbone, ensuring its sustainability and growth in these testing times?
Thank you for tuning in to the Bovine Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's insightful discussion. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Catch you next time on the Bovine Podcast, where bovine expertise and community come together.